welcome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 212's All Hands Training. Here's the deal. Hey, Steve. Here's the deal. We're going to share a bunch of stuff with you. I promise you, a bunch of stuff. Don't want you to be overwhelmed. But my goal for you, as is Steve, this is Steve Fair, by the way. If you guys don't know Steve Fair, you need to know Steve Fair. Just one of those guys you need to hang around and get smarter with. At any rate, our hope for you is that you walk away here with at least one or two things that you can implement, right? Information is great, but it's useless unless we implement these things, right? So, we've all gone to seminars before, trainings before, I'm sure. Always my goal to just walk away with one or two things that I could, hopefully more, but at least one or two things that I could put into action immediately. So that's our hope for you guys. Within your folders there's some note-taking opportunities. We always encourage you to take notes. It just seems to stick better when you take notes. How you doing, Tori? We're going to talk about culture a lot in 212. Does 212 have a culture?
Yes, sir.
Right, sure does. Does the Army have a culture? Oh man, they got a culture for sure. And it changes very slowly, doesn't it? Very slowly. Your church has a culture. Does your team have a culture? Yes, it sure does. It sure does. You ever gone to different 212 teams and they all run the same way basically, right? But they have their own unique flavor, right? Their own little deal. And that's cool. That's really cool. But we're going to be talking about a lot about culture and culture building, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about, when you became a member of 212, did you fill out an application?
Yep.
All right, you remember that covenant on there? That's the beginning of it. I got to tell you quick, I'm going to interject with a quick story. I'm at a chamber meeting a few months back, a Richmond chamber meeting. Anyone ever go to the Richmond chamber? Mm-hmm. And you know how it is at a chamber meeting, you get clusters of people, right? Clusters of people. So I'm in a cluster, and there's several clusters all around me, and we're chitty-chatting, right, and all this. And I hear behind me, in the cluster behind me, hey, how's the chamber doing? Y'all, you like the chamber? And everyone's like, yeah, it's good. It's a good chamber. I think it's good, right? And somebody in there said, well, have y'all ever heard about 212? So I'm standing right now. I'm listening, right? Someone else in there said, yeah, I've heard about them, but you know what? I heard they brainwash you. They brainwash you. So I thought that was interesting, got my attention. Obviously, I did an about face, right, and walked over there, and I knew a couple people in that crew, and I shook a few hands and introduced myself, and he looked a little wigged out, but that's okay. I said, I just want to respond to that comment I heard. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, y'all just kind of force everybody to behave a certain way. Y'all know what the definition of culture is, by the way? Culture is a specific group of people that think and behave in a similar way, right? The Army, they behave a certain way. Your church members, we behave a certain way. In 212, we behave a certain way, right? We think the same thing. So when you signed up that application, it's a whole bunch of things on that covenant, isn't it? We promised to deliver the highest level of service, right? We promise to only to deal ethically and honestly, right? So if I'm guilty of brainwashing with that kind of stuff, I'm guilty as charged. But I just thought it was interesting because some of the things that we promise to do here are critical components of 212. So we're going to go over a few of those. By the way, when somebody comes into 212, who's a new member? Any got new members here? Okay, got a few. Yeah. I think a lot of people, when they submit their application and they get approved, what are they thinking? Where's my referrals? Mm-hmm. I joined, where's my referrals? Well, folks, I'm just here to tell you this. Is it net sit? Is it net eat? Is it net drink? No, it's net work, right? I think a lot of people forget about that. We've got to do the work. We've got to develop the relationships. We've got to demonstrate truth, honesty, ethics, all that, really before the referral process begins. So some of these things we're going to be talking about. And I love this. You guys love doing business by referral, by the way? I got a call. I'm going back a few months, and I got a phone call. His name was Tom. My name's Tom, and Alan Hunter said I needed to use you. Right. Oh, okay. We have a show in Vegas next month, and we need 2,500 tote bags. That's my day job. And I could only think of this, 2,500 tote bags, by the way, at $3.99 per bag was about a good $13,000 sale, right? That fell into my lap. Ever had that business that just falls into your lap? It's like, isn't that just like, oh, thank you? Right? That's the power of referrals, right? That's the power. And what we all try to do here is to create referral sources, the gifts that keep on giving, right? So we need to treat everybody properly, wouldn't you say? So, what I'm talking about, I'm gonna switch it out. I'm not gonna talk about brainwashing. I'm gonna talk about becoming like-minded. Like-minded, that's, I think, a little more accurate. So the first thing we do is we fill out that application, we go over all those covenants, we sign on those covenants, and then you received a card in the mail, didn't you? Anybody receive this? Card in the mail? I'm going to read it just to go over a couple of things here. First of all, we want to personally welcome you to 212. We're excited to help you grow your business in a meaningful way. All true. A few tips to get you ramped up quickly, because we want you to hit the ground running, right? Do your best to do business with your fellow members, as many of your fellow members as possible. Why do we say that? Why do we want to do business with as many of our teammates as possible? Is it to ring the register? Well, maybe a little bit. Right, that's true too, to develop rapport. You know what the main reason is? I call it plausible referability. I can go to one of my clients, right, and say, hey, I understand you're having problems with your website and you need to update your website. I'm going to recommend Steve Fair. I heard he does great work and he's got a great reputation. Will you use Steve Fair, right? And sometimes that still works, right? And they come back with, well, do you use him? Well, no, I don't use him, but you should. So you see that disconnect, right? That disconnect. When you do business with your members and you are a client of your teammates, now you can speak firsthand, right? Oh yes, I use Steve Fair. He did this project and this project, it was fantastic. You definitely need to use Steve Fair. In 212, it's not I got a guy, right? I got the guy. Well, I call that a robust referral. I've got the guy or the gal that you need to use. Who in here's got clients you've had for 10 years? 15 years. Keep them up. 20 years. Oh, nice, nice. When you have a client for 20 years, and I've got some too. We've been in business 26 years now. I've got clients from day one. When I say you need to sit down with Steve Fair, you know what they say? Yeah! Set it up. Set it up. Yes, set that up. That's the kind of relationships we're trying to get going here, the referrals that keep on giving. So the next thing on this list, right, is develop the habit. I love this. Develop the habit of referring your teammates to your clients and others that you know. Develop the habit. Does it come naturally to intentionally refer somebody? Now, we all do this, right? We hear our clients say something like, oh, wow, we really need to update our website. And we're triggered by that. We go, oh, that's Steve Fair. Let me connect you with Steve Fair. Does the best websites in town, right? But being intentional is different. When we function with our teammates, I think we need to operate with more intentionality. Being intentional. In other words, when I sit down with a client, I can just tell you what I do. Once I get to know this person a little bit, right? Usually first biz chat is casual, second biz chat might be a little bit casual, third biz chat, we're getting down to business, right? I pull my client list out. And I know if you own your own business, you can probably do that. Some businesses, you cannot do that. I recognize that. But I'll pull my client list out and I'll say, listen, look through this for a little bit. Let's identify 2 or 3 clients that you think would be a good fit for you. And I love doing that because number one, they'll obviously start looking through the client list and go, oh, I've been trying to get in touch with this person for 2 years. Well, set it up. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna do an email. We're gonna do a drop by his office. What do you want to do? Strategize on how that takes place, right? Last part on here, I love this too. Do your best to bring guests to every meeting. Every meeting. That is a big, huge part of 212, isn't it? I just want you to look at this, but this is why I'm so thrilled about going to my meeting every week. When I go into my meeting and I see 8, 10, 12 people that I don't know, right? Now it's great to have guests at your meeting. They add color, energy, right? That's all great. but I think we need to look at them a little differently. Are they prospects?
Absolutely.
Are they going to need their kitchen remodeled at some point? Might they be looking to refi their home? Is their son or daughter going to be buying a home soon? Folks, these are prospects, decent human beings, obviously. But I don't overlook the whole deal here that these are prospects. Every week, these prospects come to your front door, don't they? They come to your front door. So I think we need to look at our guests a little differently. And by the way, when you got a prospect, or like a hot prospect, don't you roll the red carpet out for them? It's like, somebody gave you a referral, that's like the red carpet goes out. We're going to give them unparalleled service, preferred pricing perhaps, all that, because we want to take care of this person, right? All these people that are coming into your teams are prospects. So think a little differently. We're going to talk a little bit further about that in the meeting as we go on. I get this question a lot. What's the silver bullet in 212? What's the silver bullet? And there's lots of different answers to that, but there's one main answer, I think. Help as many people as you can help. However you can help them, right? Help as many people. What's that Zig Ziglar quote? Anybody? You can have anything.
Go ahead. You can have anything you want as long as you help everyone else get what they want first.
That's exactly right. And in fact, he uses the word enough. As long as you're willing to help enough people get what they want, right? Life gets easy when you do it, when you live by that, I'll tell you. So anyway, the silver bullet is to help as many people as you can help. And we're going to talk about the many ways that we can do that, okay? First of all, we'll start at the beginning. Why do we call it 212? It's probably for the benefit of the newer members. Anybody? Water, 211 degrees. Man, that's hot water, right? But what happens when we add just one more degree? 212. That water does what? It boils. It creates steam. Steam drives a locomotive. Steam drives industry, right? It is all about that little extra degree that we do, right? Everything. So that's where we focus on every aspect of 212, and we're going to dive into that a little bit. Before we get going, I wanted to say this, and a lot of people know this, but 212 is a contact sport, right? It's a contact. Is it a spectator sport? Can you sit on the sidelines and hope you get referrals? No. You got to jump in there, roll up your sleeves, get to work, right? So you ever heard this before? And this concept just kills me. The 80-20 rule. Y'all heard about the 80-20 rule? It's been a long-standing thing as long as I've been a professional, but it submits that 80% of the production of an organization comes from 20% of the people. Does that sound crazy to y'all? Mm-hmm. That sounds crazy to me. I can't imagine that 80% of 212's production comes from 20% of the teams, right? If that's true to any degree, I would say, man, get off the sidelines, jump in the game, right? So we're going to talk about some things like that. We're going to start it off with gratitude because I think it's a big differentiator in 212. Gratitude is such a powerful sentiment. It could be used in your personal life, obviously. It could be used in your business life, obviously. I'm going to cite a few things here, but I'm going to go back quite a few years here. 1998, I'm a relatively new father. My son's 4 years old. His name's Cameron. We like to go to the zoo, have our father-son day at the zoo. This is when we lived in Dallas, by the way. Anyone been to the Dallas Zoo by any chance? Amazing. So we like to go to the zoo. So it's a spring day. We go to the zoo and do all the zoo things, right? Climbing on rocks, going to the different exhibits. And, he was 4 years old. I think he was 4 years old at the time. We finished all that and we're walking out through the main gates. And at the main gates, of course, they have some vendors, right? There's some vendors. There's an ice cream vendor, right? So I'm going for Father of the Year award. Let's get some ice cream, right? He had a great day there. We get some ice cream. We did. And then, well, I'm really going to go for it here. There's a balloon vendor, right? We're going to get half a dozen balloons. So he was thrilled. Great day, right? Got my ice cream, got my balloons, and we sit on the bench, sitting on the bench. A couple minutes go by, and a lady and obviously her daughter sit on the opposing bench, right? So here's a teachable moment for a relatively new dad. Hey, Cameron, that little girl over there, why don't you go give her a balloon? Well, what do you think? How do you think he responded to that? He pulled them closer. These are my balloons. And I said, yeah, I get it. But you got 6 of them. Just a nice thing, dude. Surely you can give her one balloon, right? So a little guilt there. So he goes like this. His body language sinks. And he walks over to the nice, pretty little girl and goes, would you like a balloon? The little girl lit up like a Christmas tree, right? Oh, yes, I would love a balloon. He hands her the balloon. He just looks befuddled, right? And he's walking back to me. I hand him his ice cream cone. He's got the 5 balloons right here, and he's just sitting there befuddled. By this time, some other people are walking by with their kids, right? He says, Dad, hold this, the drippy ice cream cone. Hey, would you like a balloon? Would you like a balloon? Would you like a balloon? He gave away all of his balloons. Proud moment for a dad, right? Here's the thing. He went from, these are mine, to would you like a balloon? Like that. Powerful. Very, very powerful. Proud story. I love telling that story. Anyway, it works in business too, doesn't it? You ever had an absence of gratitude?
Sure.
That's a tough one to swallow, isn't it? One more story. In another life, I was what is called an area director at another referral organization. I've been a member of 4 different organizations over my career. And at that time, we were supposed to impact teams once every 4 to 6 weeks, which is fine. So I go to this one chapter, they call them, one chapter. And there was a guy there, and he was very specific, which is awesome. He was like, I'm looking to meet Stan Smith with ABC Company. And I said, oh, he triggered me, right? I know Stan. I'll be happy to introduce you to Stan. So I did. I didn't think too much of it. Went on about my way, right? Another 4 to 6 weeks goes by, and I have to revisit this chapter. So I do. We go to this chapter, and of course, we go through the meeting. At the end of the meeting, everyone walks out, right? Walks out of the meeting. And this same guy that I gave this referral to about 4 to 6 weeks earlier approached me very abruptly. I will never forget it. It's the reason gratitude is a focus in 212. He slapped me on the shoulder. Hey, that referral you gave me last month, man, $35,000, thanks. Pew. Out the door he went. And my jaw went, I didn't even get a chance to say a word. I didn't. Here's why. First of all, if somebody gives me a referral that's $35,000, I can do some wonderful things with my family with $35,000. I am truly grateful, right? And I'll back up and say this. Had he approached me a little more heartfelt, Andy, that referral you gave me last month, man, it's $35,000. Thank you. That'd have been just fine, but I'm never giving this idiot another piece of business as long as I live. As long as I live, he just did not thank me properly, right? The absence of gratitude. So that's why gratitude is such a focus in 212, and I just thought I'd take a minute to go over our what? Gratitude incentives. The first gratitude incentive is what? If you help somebody to become a member of 212, we're gonna send you a nice little letter, aren't we? Thank you for helping to grow the organization. We certainly appreciate that. Enclosed in that is what we call a tangible expression of gratitude, right? It's a check for $100. Here's what it's not. You're never going to get rich on this, I promise. It just won't happen, but you're going to know that you're genuinely appreciated for helping to grow the sphere and influence of 212. Now, we also have what is called a 3 in 30 bonus. Anybody in this room got that? Mm-hmm. Nobody? Oh, you have, yeah. If any member of 212 is successful in bringing in 3 new members in any 30-day period, ongoing and forever, just a block of 30 days, they're also going to qualify for the 3 in 30 bonus, which is a separate check for $250. Now, why do you think we do that? Are we crazy?
Well, it's debatable, but.
True that. Think about this, okay? Well, first of all, we got a lot of people at 212 really enjoy this, and I get it. I think it's a great incentive. What if you've got just one person on your team, maybe it's you, that really enjoys this incentive? Your team grows how? 3. What if you got 4, 5, 10 people on your team that have really enjoyed this incentive? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. You see, we're promoting fast growth on your teams. Whenever somebody joins your team, isn't that an opportunity to do business with not only them, but everybody else they know, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so that's the gratitude incentive for the 3 and 30, but here's the primary reason we do it. That was the secondary. Here's the primary. Let's do the math here. You got 3 people that this person brought in. They get $100 for each of those people. That's $300 plus. They did it in 30 days. Wow, okay. That's an extra $250. That's $550. How much does it cost to be a member of 212? $495. What we have done, folks, is knock down the barrier of entry, right? And I call this the beautiful machine. I love this. Those people that keep inviting, now is everybody going to join that they invite? Not everybody, but don't we all get a nice shot at doing business with a bunch of them? I get this all the time. The governing committee will call me, well, we invited so-and-so, and they came 3 or 4 times, man, and they didn't join. They're discouraged. They didn't join. I said, well, did they do business? Well, yeah. Jeff did business with them, and I think Sarah wrote his insurance. Perfect. That's what we're looking to do. When your guests come, folks, if they see the value and they want to join your team, I think that's wonderful. Never my primary motivation. My primary motivation is I want consumers in my seats. They're the ones that are going to do all the business with you and your teammates. So we're looking for, I always say this, 212 members need to become guest-centric. Guest-centric. We are always thinking and behaving about getting guests in. For me, it's more valuable than a referral. More valuable. Bring all these people in that I can potentially do business with all of them, right? Any questions so far? Okay, all right.
We get asked a lot, how do I bring guests in? Anybody struggle with bringing guests to a 212 meeting, getting people to show up, teams that show up? You ever gone to a meeting and there's no guests? Then you go back the next week and there's still no guests. And you go back a third week and now you're questioning why you're still there, right? 3 weeks in a row with no guests. What's one of the easiest ways to get guests to show up? Anybody been successful? What are some of the tricks and tips that you guys have of getting guests to show up? Anybody got any great stories? Free food. Free food?
Free beer.
It's like college all over again, right? Free booze, right? They'll show up. Do you go to visit other teams? Do you travel and go to other teams? If you go to other teams, what do those other teams usually have? Guests, right? Guests who have not committed to a team yet. And what do you walk out of that team meeting with each week? In your hands, a stack of business cards for all of those guests, right? I have yet anyone to prove this wrong. If you meet somebody who took the time and energy and effort to travel to visit a team and be a guest on a team, do you think that person would not do it again and go to your team and be a guest at your team? I know people who they don't blast out emails, they don't make phone calls, they don't Shanghai people in restaurants and try to get them to show up for a meeting. All they do is go from one meeting to another, to another, to another, and collect business cards and invite those people to come to their meeting. And they show up almost all the time. So I laugh when people say to me, it's so hard to get guests. Well, there's ways, right? There's ways. What's another good way to get guests? Especially repeat guests. This kind of ties into gratitude for a minute. If you give a gratitude incentive, how many of us have sometimes said to somebody, hey, Reggie, I got a gratitude incentive for you, but it's in the car. So after the meeting, just come out to the car and I'll share it to you out there. Folks, gratitude is not a drug deal, right? You don't have to go back outside and do it at the car. Gratitude should be expressed openly and publicly, right? We have some great people on our team. One of them is Matthew Brown. He's our photographer today. Matthew has this wonderful portrait image of the skyline of the city of Richmond that he took with a drone camera. It's a beautiful image, and it's probably 4 feet by 2 feet. It's this massive scale, right? And you should see the eyes in our room light up when Matthew stands up and says, I just have something to share with you. He pulls out this massive picture, and he presents it to somebody as a thank you gift. Every guest in our team that visits our group sits back and says, oh my gosh, like, I want one of those. I'd love to come back. I'd love to participate in that. Now, also impressive, not as beautiful, but also impressive is the occasional bottle of bourbon that someone puts out on the table. That's always nice as well, right? But the point is not what you give. The point is how you deliver it, how you present it. Give your gratitude publicly if possible, or at least mention it. Maybe you took someone to dinner. You can't bring the plate of food to the 212 meeting, right? But at least express it, share with it. Let people know, hey, we had a great dinner the other night. Thank you, Amy, for the business that you shared with me. I was glad to treat you to a nice steak dinner, and I hope you enjoyed it, right? But you gotta say those things so that people, especially guests, understand that gratitude is not just spoken about, but it's actually practiced in the meeting between the members each week.
So we're on a golf course here. This resonates a little bit, but is professional networking a long game or a short game? It is a long game. It's been very long in my career. You need to practice these things. In my opinion, professional networking is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. So I think when you think of it in those terms, because we're all out in our daily lives, right? In our busy lives, but there are opportunities all around us every single day that we need to be aware of, right? So the professional networker just becomes aware. Our antenna is sharpened in this way, and that's what 212 does also, sharpen our antenna. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit here. Here's a concept I wanted to share, especially for you new people. Strike first. I think a lot of people come into 212 and they kind of observing still, and they're waiting, maybe waiting to see if somebody wants to do business with them, right? And that's okay. But there's so much value in striking first. Be the one that goes, hey, Reggie, I'm thinking about building a deck onto my house. Can you talk to me about that? Strike first. That makes you stand out, doesn't it? And you get engaged quickly. Strike first. I think it's just a great mentality. Let's talk about the tools of 212. When you became a member of 212, you got a package, right? And one of the things in the package was this. Do y'all use this going to your appointments? Oh my God. I think it's the most powerful tool in your arsenal, right? So how do we use this? Number one, who's got competitors? Mm-hmm. I got a bunch of competitors too. God bless them. Come on, you got competitors? Okay, God bless all of our competitors, but here's the thing I learned many, many years ago. I needed to differentiate myself from all my competitors. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to ever do that is to become more valuable to my clients, right? More valuable. Why should they use me and not Joe Blow down the street? I need to become more valuable. I need to differentiate myself, right? We're all looking for differentiation, right? The best way that I ever found to differentiate myself was to become a real resource to my clients, not just a purveyor of marketing solutions or web solutions, IT solutions, home inspection solutions, mortgage solutions. We're much more than that, aren't we? All of us, so much more than that, right? So when I sit down with my clients, right, and we're talking usually about some aspect of marketing, I get it. I say something like this. You're going to be Sherry. Hey, Sherry, before I get out of here, I want you to take a look at this. This is a collection of top-notch local professionals. Take a minute, right? Folks, I have done this literally thousands of times over my career. Never one time has anyone, see, you're curious. Never anyone has pushed it back to me and say, no, thank you. Not once. Right. You know what they do? Just what she did. Let me see that. I want to know what's in your little black book, even though it's Navy, right? So Sherry opens it up and does these people sell carpet? And I'm like, well, yeah, they sell. Well, have them contact me. My husband and I are talking about recarpeting our home. I said, wonderful. Now, this was a $7,000 carpet sale, right, for my buddy who was extremely happy with me. I get it. It's not the bigger picture, folks. The bigger picture is this. Had I not taken this into my appointment, by the way, differentiating myself and making myself more valuable, job one, really. I'm going to make myself more valuable. But I have exposed her to all my teammates who have done what, by the way? Signed an agreement saying, I promise to give them the highest level of service. Are you doing your clients a solid by doing this? Oh yeah. Can you be dismissed from 212 for not being in accordance with the covenant? Yes, you can, right? We all make a promise and we take it very seriously. So what I'm talking about, folks, is referral manufacturing, doing this intentionally. Most people generate referrals how? Active listening. They hear their client say something or their brother-in-law say something and we're triggered by that and we go, okay, right? We all do that, it's normal, but we take it just a little degree further and make ourselves more valuable, thus exposing all of our teammates, right, to a client that I've known for 20-some years who trusts me, right? I'm telling you, if you have never done this, try it. It will generate stories for you, not to mention income for your teammates. And by the way, don't you want your teammates doing this for you? Mm-hmm. They've all got a book of clients. They sit down, they can differentiate themselves and create opportunities for all of you. Try it. You know, by the way, sometimes when I'm sitting down with my client, I'll just aim it at them. I'm kind of learning. And we're talking about some aspect of marketing. I just say, hey, what is that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. This is a collection of top-notch local professionals. I got a spiel. Yeah. Anyway, you get my point with that? That's called referral manufacturing. It works often, not all the time, but often. And every time you'll be perceived as more valuable. Promise you that. Questions on that? Okay. Next tool. We have a digital version of this, don't we?
Right.
We got a team website. I keep my team website I put it in my email signature line, right? I send a bunch of emails, probably like y'all. I send over 100 a day, easy, to my clients, to my prospects, to my friends, to my family. I send a ton of emails. Now, is everybody going to click that? By the way, it says, it has my name, has my company name. Just below it says, do you need a quality local professional, ? With the team's link right there, right? Not everybody's going to click that, but just like She Was Curious is in this book, some people look at that on your email signature line and go, well, what the hell is that? Local professionals that I trust and recommend. Wow. Wow. Quick little story. This is years ago, but it illustrates my point. We had a family event. My wife says to me, she says, hey, invite Chris, my brother-in-law. Invite Chris, tell him to bring this and that, be there at 7:30. Okay. I'm an email guy. Chris, be there at 7:30, bring this and that. Send the email, right? 2 minutes later, my phone rings. It's Chris. Hey, I'm going to be there at 7:30. I'm bringing this and that. Hey, listen, I clicked on that thing. That realtor, is she any good? Well, yeah, she's fantastic. She'll certainly take good care of you. What's going on? Well, it's an unfortunate situation, but my good buddy, that looks like they're going through a divorce, and they need to sell their home. The realtor on my team sold 2 homes. Sold their jointly held home and then sold the lady another home. From an email I sent my brother-in-law. Folks, I don't know what you call that. I call it stupid money. That's just stupid money, right? Just fell into his lap, fell into her lap. Add this to your email signature line. Now, I know there's probably a couple people in here in certain positions that can't do that, right? Corporate governance, I get it. I always say to these people, do you have an alternative email address, like a Gmail? And they go, oh, yeah, I got that one. I don't care if you're just using it with family members. Are they consumers? Are your family members consumers? Absolutely. Add this to your email signature line. You're going to be surprised at how many people will ask you about it, and it gives you the opportunity to engage a teammate. Questions on that? This is just easy stuff. Yes, sir.
So, from a technical perspective, are you linking all of your business cards that are in your book?
All my members, yes, sir, are on my link. Who's got their team website up and running?
Website. Who's got them?
Good. Anybody not have their team?
Who doesn't know if they have one?
You want to talk to him?
Yep. If you're a team lead and you don't have one, see me. If you're on a team and you haven't been told we have one and asked for your contact information and all that, you need to make sure to rattle some cages at your governing committee and say, hey, what's going on? How come we don't have our team website? We can provision it very quickly, get it set up. You run it at the team level. It's super easy to do, but it's very helpful. Right now, I think we have maybe half the teams are actively using their team website.
Very valuable tool, folks, for sure. Team invitation cards. Just get this one out of the way. Step one with the team invitation cards, and I'll tell you a quick little story, but very effective tool. I always have my team invitation cards on my person all the time. This a couple years ago, but I'm in a Starbucks line, waiting to get some coffee, and there's a landscaper there. I know he's a landscaper, because it said A&S Landscaping on it, right? So I'm not shy, tap him on the shoulder, introduce myself, said, hey, listen, I'm part of a business referral organization. We meet every Tuesday right down the street here. I said, let me ask you something. Do you like to meet realtors? And I said, landscape. I love to meet realtors. Gotcha. Well, listen, this card tells you everything you know. I don't want you to forget my name. My name is Andy. The realtor on my team is Jennifer Smith. Listen, if you can get there about 5 minutes early, I'd love to personally introduce you to her. Right. He came, he saw, rest is history. I think here's the thing. We have some great tools in 212. You just got to know how to use them. And step one is to have these on your person, your top pocket, ladies, in your purse, available at the ready, anytime, right? And with that being said, who's got one on their person? It's free lunch on me. If anybody has one, show it to me. Dig deep. Anyone got a team invitation card? You got to show it. First three. Up. There's one there. Up. There's one there. Up. That's the one I saw. That's the one I saw. There you go.
I like that one.
Always have those team invitation cards on your person. Any questions on team invitation cards, by the way? Okay, I want to talk about this for a minute. I call this the choreography of 212, okay, in a nutshell. I want you to kind of work with me here for a minute. We've invited a ton of people, right? Invited a ton of people. Your meeting is set up, all set up. The guests start arriving, right? They start arriving. Don't we greet our guests wonderfully? Bob, I'm so glad you can make it. Wonderful. Come on back over here. Let's get you to sign in at our sign-in table. I get a lot of people ask me, why do we need a sign-in table? What do you think that does? Sets the tone for a serious meeting, albeit a fun meeting, but it sets the tone for a serious meeting. Bob, come on right over here. Let's get you signed in, right? I don't know about you guys. I'm what you call a floor general. I might be talking to Steve right here, but I know what's going on over here, right? My peripheral vision is out here. So when I see Bob over here and he's finishing up signing in, all right, Bob, come on right over here a minute. Somebody I want to introduce you to. Bob, this is Steve Fair. I think you two have some synergies, right? Y'all chat a bit, and then I leave. Then the chairperson calls the meeting to order, right? Everybody gets seated. Your guests, they experience a very well-run, efficient meeting. Might have even gotten a referral. Wonderful, wonderful. They go back to their office, right? They pull up their computer, 16 emails. Bob, thanks for coming to our meeting. We really enjoyed having you there. Hope you saw the value. We'd love you to consider membership. Folks, you know what the number one reason is why people don't join 212? Nobody asked them. You ever heard this before? The fortune is in the what? The fortune is in the follow-up. Every single time, I promise you. When you fail to follow up, you just messed up. Follow up. How you doing, dear? Those guests. I'm going to take it again. It goes back to thinking about our guests differently. They've got those 16 emails. They're back to. Are they feeling the love, by the way? Are those guests that came to your meeting, experienced a great meeting, went back to their office, got 16 emails, loving on them? 2 days later, what happens? They get a thank you card in the mail. Your team marketing specialist of your team sends us at the office a snapshot of all the guests' business cards, and we send them a thank you card on your team's behalf. That's kind of like the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae, right? What are these guests thinking of your team at this point? all this follow-up, all the love, they're about ready to join, and they're certainly coming back. So treat our guests like that. I'm gonna go a little further and say this. They are prospects, right? Our guests are definitely prospects. In addition to the email you sent thanking them for coming to your team, would it be a good idea to maybe send a thank you card? Folks, I'm telling you, that's a lost art. That is a lost art. It used to be very prevalent years ago in business, and I'm dating myself, I know, but back in the 80s and certainly the 90s, most of the 90s, the business was different. Business was high relational. We took our clients to lunch, right? We took our clients for drinks after work, one of my favorites. We never forgot a client birthday. Really important stuff. I think it was around 2000 or so where business had a shift. It became much more transactional and less relational. And I just think it sucks, personally. I've never behaved that way. I refuse to behave that way, and I don't think you should behave that way either. Take care of your clients, take care of your prospects, right? Show them the gratitude. Any questions on that, folks? Okay. We're going to move right along here in some other areas, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit. But you guys have a team marketing specialist that makes a post on LinkedIn, right, about the spotlight presenter. I think everybody on the team needs to make a favorable comment about that spotlight presenter. You know, we put it on there, and you know, maybe 2 or 3 people say something. Great presentation, Steve, right? Or Steve's the man, whatever it is. Here's the thing. What if you look at that post, and let's say you were the spotlight presenter. You're the spotlight presenter, and your whole team, you got 18, 20 people, you know, saying wonderful things about you and what you do. Is that valuable?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, are there a lot of perusers on LinkedIn? Sure. Here's the idea, they're perusing, they say, oh, his spotlight, let's say, who's the spotlight? Oh, it's Sam Smith here. Oh my goodness, 20 people said wonderful things about him. Well, maybe I need to use Sam, right? I just think that we can be of additional value to all, especially the spotlight presenters, and make a favorable comment about that. Because you'd want them to do it for you, correct? I would think so. Questions on that? Here's the thing, you ever be on LinkedIn? By the way, is everybody on LinkedIn? Okay. If you're not, get on LinkedIn, oh my goodness. Build your contacts on LinkedIn. I got a little story for you. But if you wouldn't mind, open up your folders. LinkedIn is about 18, I think, 19 years old, somewhere around there. It's like 2003, 2004.
That's right.
I've got lots of mentors, but one of them in particular is a gentleman by the name of Harry Garman. Does anybody know Harry here in Richmond? He passed away like 5 or 6 years ago, but he was one of those icons in Richmond. You know, he started businesses, bought and sold businesses, just one of those guys, just a sage wisdom kind of guy. So I was happy to take this guy, to my friend, to breakfast. He was a breakfast guy. Take him to breakfast about almost once a month, but certainly every other month we'd go to breakfast. And I'm happy to pay for that breakfast because I get all this sage wisdom, right? So we're on a breakfast. This is about 2003, 2004. And then, of course, Harry's chomping on his eggs, and he says, hey, are you on this thing called LinkedIn? I said, well, yeah, I just signed up for that not too long ago. Yeah, I'm on it. And he goes, well, how's it working for you? And I said, well, I think it's good. Right? My brand is out there, right? Well, have you got any closed business from it? I said, well, I can't say that I've really gotten any closed business from it. Okay, here's the lightning bolt moment, folks. He says, why not? Don't you meet these people? You know what I was doing? Request, accept, request, accept. That was the extent of my involvement in LinkedIn. Since that time, since 2003, I've made it a point to meet these people, right? I charge myself for two interactions per week. I'm absolutely going to do one, but I try to get 2. But I absolutely hold myself accountable for 1 LinkedIn meeting, whether it's coffee or lunch. I keep building my LinkedIn profile. Ultimately, your LinkedIn connections become what? Your audience. They become your audience, and they're somewhat captive, right? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, folks, build your LinkedIn. When you get guests that come into your team, immediately connect with them or request the connection on LinkedIn. Keep building your LinkedIn. Any questions on that?
I want to
Super
share a
powerful.
story because Andy won't. On our team, Andy is notorious for this. If he uses LinkedIn and he does an event before the meeting starts, so he kind of puts a social post out there about the event, what's going on, the time, place, and all this. And over the course of that week, different people will say, I'm going to be there, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be part of it. So Andy does a ton of homework before the meeting. I think you sit down on Monday Night Football and you're doing homework while you're watching the game. But in any case, he's doing all kinds of research on LinkedIn to see who's coming to the meeting, and most importantly, who are they all connected to? So Andy has this habit. He'll sit down in the meeting, he'll say, I'm Andy, this is what I do, and I'm looking to meet Sherry Snyder and Tom Smith and Jerry Jones. Great GM, by the way. Keep messing things up for us, Jerry. Anyway, all the things that he looks for, all the people that he's asking for. And invariably, he knows that there's someone in the room who already knows these people. And it's amazing. You watch it in our meeting every week. He'll say a name and someone will say, well, I know them. And the look of bewilderment.
You do?
Really? Like, are you, no kidding? Like, I'm just shocked and amazed, right? Really, he's not shocked and amazed. But everyone in the room, especially the guests, look at him like, wow, it happened again, right? Again. My friends, it is nothing more than homework. It's nothing more than doing a little bit of due diligence and realizing who's in the room. And yet, in the moment, it looks like magic happening. It looks like this unbelievable coincidental thing. There's no coincidence. There is no magic sauce. There is no secret serve. It is literally homework, but it's all done because of LinkedIn. If you're not leveraging your relationships on LinkedIn and the people who connect to your team, those kind of opportunities are much harder to build. Much, much harder to build. And then they are coincidental. So each week, if you want to watch the show, come visit my team. It's amazing. You'll see it happen all the time.
Well, here's the bottom line here. You need to be specific. Who's heard this? You hear people every week.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I'm looking to meet business owners. I'm looking to meet marketing directors. Anyone with skin or anybody that breathes.
Right.
Right? That is just too much for us to comprehend as human beings. We just cannot get our head around that. But if I mention somebody that I know you know, if I mention Stan Smith with ABC Company, I have triggered you. That's what we're looking to do, folks, is to trigger people. Here's the thing. I think human beings are hardwired to want to help people. I think it's beautiful. It's just the way God designed us, right? We want to help people. It's a beautiful thing. But we need to be triggered. And the best way to trigger people is by names that they know. Here's another little tidbit about LinkedIn. There's a section in LinkedIn where people can give you a paragraph testimonial. He does this, he does that. I've been a client of his for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Check those. They know them well. They know them well. So add those to your list. But I'm just telling you, if you'd rather fish in a barrel, be specific. Be specific on who you're looking to talk to. If you can't be specific with a person, be specific with a company. If you can't be specific with a company, be specific with an industry. I'm looking to meet teachers right? Trigger people.
We have a contractor on our team. He likes to say, I'm looking for ugly decks. As you go around for barbecues this summer and you see your mom has an ugly deck, that's what I'm looking for. Ugly decks, right? It triggers people, right? Yeah, I've seen ugly decks, right? There's another fella in 212. He's a gutter repairman. I'm looking for people who have plants and trees growing out of their gutters. We all know our neighbors who have plants and trees and things growing out of their gutters, right? The trigger for the effect, the impact.
All right, Steve alluded to this one a little earlier too, but I got to talk about a terrible disease. It's called gastritis. It is a terrible disease. Anybody know the symptoms of gastritis?
Ooh. Boredom.
Irritability, depression, and most noticeably a loss of revenue. a decline in revenue, guestitis. Steve alluded to it earlier. Like I said, he's you ever had those meetings where there's no guests, or 2 meetings without guests, 3 meetings? Oh, it's the beginning of the end. This if you have too many meetings without guests. So the guest focus is important, and the symptom to the cure for that is just guests. Develop this habit. All of us need to contribute. Don't be part of that 20% or the 80% that's doing nothing. Invite your guests. In my opinion, it's more important than direct referrals, right? Okay. Okay, some other things here. Let's see, what's our timing? We doing good? Okay, good. Doing good. Visit other teams. Who here visits other teams? Awesome. I get this a lot, especially from realtors, mortgage people, and insurance people, financial advisors. I can't visit that team. They got a realtor, right? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Of course you can visit this team. Of course you can, but do it the right way. It's one of my favorite things to do is to visit a team that has my competitor. For those that don't know, my other job is Atlantic Logo Wear. We do custom embroidery, custom screen printing, branded marketing products. Been doing it for 26 years. I know who my competitors are. I know who they are, and they know me pretty much. When I walk into that meeting, right, there's my competitor over there. I see him get a little bowed up. Like, what's he doing here, right? What's he doing here, right? When it comes around to me, I introduce myself, right, and I said, and I do the exact same thing that Bob does here. I'm not here to ask for referrals out of respect for Bob. In fact, I've heard nothing but the best things about Bob and his company. Lifting my competitor up, right? Lifting him up. Now what's my competitor thinking about me? Well, okay. Well said, right? What are the guests thinking about me? That's why I'm there. Those guests have made no commitment to the team. They're just guests. Aren't you holding their business cards? Don't you think you might want to get a cup of coffee or lunch on the calendar with that guest or with those guests? I'm going to make them like me more. I promise you. I'm going to do my best. They're just guests. They're open game. I'm going to make them love me. Chances are they don't even know these people on these teams. They're just guests. They don't know. Go visit other teams. Make the guests your clients. Invite them to your team. Here's a reality. When somebody on a team invites a guest, they come, right? And they might live 20 miles from that meeting. And your meeting might be in their backyard. Seen it a bunch of times. Seen it. Take your team invitation cards and also give them a team invitation card to visit your team. That is not poaching. They're just guests. And here's the thing. Here's a reality about 212 members. They want a team that's either close to where they live or close to where they work. Bottom line, that's the truth. Now, some of us go all over the place and we don't care. That's me. But most people, that's what they're looking for, geographic preference. Any questions on that, folks? Visit other teams. You will find a significant portion of your income will come from visiting other teams.
Everyone understands on the website we have all the teams listed. They're all there, time and date, location. We keep that updated very regularly. In fact, I'll often be sitting at my desk and I get a text from Andy, hey, this team moved, and literally 30 seconds later it's updated. So we keep it very, very quickly updated. But a couple of thoughts. If you are traveling quite a ways, or it's kind of far away for you to get to that team meeting, I would recommend contact the chairman of that team before you go. Make sure the team is still meeting at that location. Now, while we keep it updated and we try to stay on top of it, every once in a while we get a curveball, right? So reach out to the chairperson of the team and just make sure that everything is correct. Probably is. Rather safe than sorry. The second thing is, what an opportunity, right? Hey, I'm coming to meet your team. I can't wait to see you on Wednesday afternoon. By the way, this is what I do. Are there anybody on your team that you think I should meet, or anybody that you think I should be introduced to?
That's good.
I could do some homework in advance, find out a little bit more about them, but if you think there's some synergies here, or if there's a competitor on my team, it gives the chairperson an opportunity to help you understand the lay of the land a little bit, right? So you can leverage that opportunity a little bit. The other trick, and this works out really well, I know a few people that do this. We have the calendar, on the website, but they've actually gone to their own personal calendar, Outlook, Gmail, whatever it is, and they set up other teams' recurring meeting in their own calendar. I have mine flagged as a separate calendar so I can kind of toggle it on and off, because otherwise it just kind of, all over the place. So I can easily view it when I need to. But maybe I'm out at the airport on Thursday morning because I have an airport run or something. And oh, you know what? Boy, there's a Stanston team out there. Well, I could stop and see John Abbott, and I could visit his team because I'm in the area, right? And then I can kill two birds with one stone. If I've got the calendar all there, it's super easy for me to block my time and to recognize where I'm going to be. So it's an easy trick to think about, how can I visit other teams? How can I make it work for me? Put the ones that are in your normal pattern and your normal routine right in your own calendar. It helps a lot.
Something in your handouts here, it's an invitation email. I believe in simple, I like simple. I hope you guys like simple too. There's an email invitation. Do you see it? Let's see if I can see one in here. Can I borrow that 1 second? Especially for new members who are looking to contribute and get started quickly. This is a beautiful email, and that's what I do. I craft one great email, and then I send it to that person, and then I pull it from my sent mail and change it from "Hey Jennifer" to "Hey John." Right? The sentiment is still genuine. It's just efficient, right? But anyway, it goes like this. Subject line: Hey Bob, you're invited. Hope you've been well. I'm part of a business referral organization by the name of 212 Referral Network. We're a group of business professionals that focus on introducing and highly recommending each other to our respective clients and others we know. All of us enjoy the faster acquisition of new customers. I'd like to invite you to check us out. We meet every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 at XYZ location. I'm sure you'd benefit. Would you be able to join me this coming Wednesday? Would love to introduce you around. I always like to finish with a question because it begs that reply, right? So I send this, and then I bring it back, and I do it 30 to 40 more times every week, every single week. I know that sounds crazy to y'all. I know it does. But thing is this, about 10% of your total invitations will actually show up. So if you just invite one or two, it is highly unlikely that you're going to have any guests. Highly unlikely. So I send out, now if I send out 30 or 40 of these, about 10% is the rule. I'll usually have 2, 3, 4 guests show up. Myself. I just want you to think about this. What if on your team everybody had just one guest? If you're on a team of 20, that's 20 guests. I promise you, you are going to write so much more business by having this type of continuity of guests. You're going to write so much business. It is all about the guests. So again, look at your guests differently. Get on board with inviting these guests. It is so valuable to everybody else. And they're going to do it for you. That's the thing. You have to model these behaviors so everybody else models these behaviors, right?
Each week, our vice chair gives a little bit of a report of who we'd like to see come and join our team, the kind of industries, the kind of markets that we'd like to fulfill. Sometimes we've seen teams that have, they're missing an HVAC professional, right? That's what they really want, is an HVAC guy on the team. So everybody goes home and looks at the sticker on the machine outside and says, who do I use for crying out loud? Oh yeah, those guys, right? So the whole team will focus on inviting HVAC. It's always interesting when 9 HVAC people show up at the same meeting. Right? They're like, yeah, I do what he does, right? I do what they do, right? But the point of it is there's all kinds of easy ways to target it. Sometimes you've got a huge LinkedIn list or a big contact list you want to send. Sometimes it's a geographic thing. Sometimes it's a market thing. So each week when the vice chair gives that report, it's like a recipe, right? That's who I'm looking for. That's who we'd like to have come join the team. Do y'all have an air conditioning system in your house? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't fix my own air conditioner, right? I got a guy who comes and does it. So we all have people, right? So look even at your own consumer list, the people you buy from, the people that you use. Those are people you can invite. But that list is always given to us each week.
I think this is really a cool aspect of LinkedIn, but did you know that you can put in photographer. There's all the photographers linked in your area in Richmond. Doesn't matter what you're looking to add to your team. You can just put it in right there. And did you know this? LinkedIn will allow you to invite up to 300 of your connections every week. Every week you can invite up to 300. And by the way, it's as easy as this. Click, 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 right? And you can cherry pick if you want to. I don't like that person. I'm going here. Click, click, right? Or you can just go click, 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 click down the line and invite everybody if you wanted to. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Can you imagine if everyone on your team sent 300 invitations on LinkedIn? My goodness. I mean, the potential is almost scary, right? But everybody has to do it. Everybody's got
You ever had a guest show up who says, I'm here because you invited me for the 400th time, right? So I finally decided to show up, and maybe you'll stop, right? Leave me alone. Don't fear the number, man. Just kick it. Go, 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 go. Keep inviting.
I get that sometimes. Here's an important thing: attendance.
Yep.
Attendance is important. Let me ask you this: you've got a team of 20 and one person is not there. Are you operating at 100%?
Nope.
No way, right? Physically impossible. That one person who's not there, it causes your team to not operate at 100%. We, of course, want you to operate at 100%. So what's the rule on that? Now, you guys probably know this, but all 212 members are given 4 unexcused absences every 6 months. That is 8 a year. Personally, I think that's super generous. And by the way, if you have a sub, the absence doesn't count against you, right? And don't you want representation at the team, even if you can't be there? That seems reasonable. I want representation, right? Get a sub. Who's the best sub? That's the question. Guest, past guests. In my mind, that's the best. Yeah. A past guest. They come in, we can potentially do business with them, and we get another shot at putting them on the team, maybe, right? Mm-hmm. Past guests. Who else is a great guest? Clients. Mm-hmm. Aren't clients going to say something good about you? Of course, you hope so. Yeah, absolutely. Clients are wonderful, right? They're consumers like anybody else, and they love you already. They're willing to do you the favor, right? The last one I'm going to say is it's a good friend of yours. A good friend. They'll do you the favor, won't they? But here's the thing. If you cannot be there, you have still done what? Added value to your team. You've added value to your team, right? When you're not there and you don't have a sub, you've hurt your team. You haven't added any value. You've hurt your team, actually. So take attendance seriously. If you can't be there, we all get these times when you can't be there. We get it. But get a sub. Those 8 unexcused absences, they're for when you wake up with a sore throat or you wake up and your kid is sick, right? That's when you use those. Sparingly. Sparingly. Any questions about that?
Who's not a good sub? Don't, wake up at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning and call another team member and say, hey, Caleb, I can't make it this morning. Hey, since you're already going and you're already on the team, would you just sub for me? That's not allowed, right? Another team member cannot serve as a sub for you on your team. We don't do that. The idea is to bring in a fresh person, a new person. That's the gift to the team, is the guest that you brought in to be your sub. So don't have the idea that you can just call in and have someone on the team sub for you.
By the way, folks, I do this all the time because teams change, over time. But how many people do you do business with on your team? I think this might make a good mentor moment. But sometimes I'll look around and I'll count up and I'll say, okay, I'm at 9. I've done business with 9 members, right? Can we do business with every member? No. Why? Because of pre-existing loyalties, right? Some of us have, or all of us, have pre-existing loyalties. But that doesn't mean that we can't do business with 3, 4, 5 people on our team, right? So the reason I bring this up is I just want you to be cognizant of how many people you do business with on your team. It's so important I don't care if it's a little bit of business, medium or large pieces of business, you've got to get involved and do business with your teammates at some level. So just kind of review how many people you do business with, right? And get that number in your head, and then maybe you can take that a little higher.
I'll share this. I have a guy on our team. He's our financial advisor on our team, and James is a good friend of mine. He's my vice chair. I talk to James all the time. And I laugh with James frequently because he's not my financial advisor, right? And he always gives me grief about it. Well, someday you'll get smart and you'll hire me. Right?
He is my financial advisor.
He regularly skewers me about this, right? But I have a guy who I'm very happy with. He's done very well for me, and he hasn't deserved to gotten fired yet. So I don't have James yet. But we laugh about it, but I can't, I'm not interested in moving my stuff to James, but what have I done for James, right? Can I make a referral to James? I referred both of my sons to James, and they opened up accounts with James, and James is serving them incredibly well, and they are very happy with me. So be creative. That's the point here, right? We all have pre-existing loyalties. Maybe your wife is a realtor, or your brother is a mortgage pro, right? And you don't want to use the guy. We understand that. But be creative about finding that next level of opportunity that works for you, right? And be intentional about it. We laugh about it. James and I have a good time laughing about it, right? I tell everybody, you're not my financial advisor. But here's what I do have. I trust my sons with you, right? That's a vote of confidence. Do the things that matter and try to find those opportunities. Even when it looks like there's a wall there, just go around. Find a way.
Awesome. There's a couple of quick things. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to speak faster. Transfers. We get people who want to transfer at some point, right? When we go to another team, we see quite a bit of that. This is my stance on this, and I think it's fair. When somebody joins a team, they have made a commitment to that team, right? They've made a commitment to that team. And by the way, does a year go by like that?
Oh, yes.
I mean, man, it goes by so fast. Unless there is an issue, if there's a personality conflict, or maybe you've moved away and now it's become a hardship to get to that meeting, I get it. That's a valid reason for a transfer in the middle of your term. But other than extenuating circumstances like that, it is much better to go and fulfill that commitment you made to the team. And then when you come up to renewal, then you can certainly apply at another team if you wish. I just wanted to mention that. We see that quite a bit, and people have been at a team now for 3, 4, 5 months, and they go, I want to transfer. I say, yeah, you made a commitment to the team, But if if it's a hardship, you've moved, I get it. Or if there's a personality conflict, that's rare, but it has happened. There's a certain personality conflicts, we need to take care of that. But other than that, fulfill that commitment you made to the team. A year goes by pretty quick. Okay.
There's two things I want to hit here.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, you ever walk into a meeting room and you're getting ready for a meeting? Maybe it's your team, maybe you're a guest, but you walk in and everybody in the room is sitting down at the table, checking their messages, making sure and you walk in the room and you feel like what? Right? Just deflated, right? Resist the urge to sit at your meeting. Until that meeting starts, until it's called to order, resist the urge. Because the minute you're standing, the minute you're awake, the minute you're alive and interacting with people, that guest walks in and they don't feel like they're the interruption, right? You're ready to go, you're ready to meet, you're ready to shake hands and introduce yourself to people. Resist that urge to sit. It's a cancer in the way that the team behaves and how the team operates. The second element to that is, I see this again. I don't know why we still see this, because I feel like we talk about it forever and a day. When it's your turn to speak, whether it's your 30 seconds or you're doing the mentor moment or the presentation spotlight, stand up. When you're standing and speaking, you're controlling the room, and everybody's doing what? Looking at you, right? Mm-hmm. So we still see a lot of people who like to sit or prefer to sit. They're more comfortable. Now, I understand if there's 3 of you at the table, it might feel a little awkward to stand up and
Hope
say
not.
something, right? But that's motivation to change the numbers in the room, right? Not to stop standing. So make sure you're standing. Our rule of thumb is if you're speaking, you're standing.
And along that line, I mean, if everyone is seated, right, and your guests are coming in, you know, it's I call it lethargy versus energy. When you come into a meeting and everyone's seated, it's kind of like, right? But when the guests come in and everyone's standing and engaged and moving around, that's electricity. It's energy, and people want to be a part of that, right? So make sure that you are standing, especially at the beginning of that meeting. It's so important and again, the guests won't feel like they've interrupted something, right? So anyway.
Speaking of lethargy, how many of you guys give mentor moments on your teams? Anybody here a mentor moment?
Oh, we got a lot of them.
Not everybody
Wow.
does. Not everybody does. That's okay. You ever walk into a mentor moment and someone stands up with a piece of paper and says, I downloaded this from Forbes magazine. It's 796 ways that you can be a more effective public speaker. Number 1, please make eye contact. Number 2, do not read. Number 419, don't pick your nose, right? Like, golly, shoot me, right? I have a reputation on my team. I love to give mentor moments, and it's important to me, but it's got to be inspirational. It should be powerful. It should be motivational. It should get you ready to go and make you want to run through the brick wall, right? So if your team suffers from challenges in that regard, I want to encourage you to do 2 things. 1, try to stretch a little bit. Try to push the envelope a little bit. Some people say they have trouble finding content. They have trouble coming up with things. They don't feel like they're creative to find inspirational things to say. If you go to our website, go to the 212 website, we have about a dozen, or maybe there's a couple more, previous mentor moments that we've given. And they're pretty good. Now you can take them, you can use them, you can truncate them, you can simplify them. The messages are the same. But don't feel like you've got to come up with something brand new all the time. It can be exhausting to try to do that. But try to make your mentor moments really shine, because they can be much more impactful than 917 things that we didn't do right this week, right? So just try to make them a little bit better.
Would you mind sharing that last one you did, that mentor moment?
I
I think that would be valuable.
All right,
for
so
these people.
y'all have a piece of paper in front of you. Turn a page over, get a clean slate of paper. I want you to draw 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3, in a straight line across the top of the page. 3 boxes. There are 3 reasons that we want to have. Every one of us on a 212 team is in business at a different place in their business, and they're here for one of 3 reasons. The first reason that they're in business is for security, right? I got to have a paycheck. I have bills, I have expenses, I have a family, I need revenue. We're all in that boat. We all need security. Write that in that first box, security. Everybody needs the security of work. The second box, as our businesses grow and mature, as we become more adept at what we do, more professional, we move out of that first box and into the second box. And that second box is we save, right? That now we're building equity. We have value in a home. We have some assets. We're saving for vacation. We're saving for the broken appliance, right? We're saving. Our business is expanding and we're gaining in that value. The third box is the one that we all aspire to. The third box is where we serve. Serving is the label for the third box. This is where we stop keeping score. We stop wondering what's next. We have so much equity built up in our relationships, in our clients, in our opportunities, and all the things that we've done in our work, that now we don't go fishing anymore. We're farming all the time, right? So when we are serving, we're thinking about what others want. We shared that Zig Ziglar quote earlier, right? We're helping enough people get what they want. We're serving. Now, it's very interesting. If you go across the top of those 3 boxes, one of the great parts about 212 is that you can express gratitude in every single one of those stages. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be brand new, green as green, wet hair and out of the shower, and you are just starting out, right? But you can be grateful. You can express that gratitude in a meaningful way. But to get from phase 2, right, saving, to phase 3, to serving, is a big jump. And there's only one way you're going to get there, and that's through practicing generosity. You do not become a server, a servant, without learning how to give without keeping score, without learning how to give unequivocally and without expectation. The goal of 212 is not just to be generous, right? We all want to be gratitude. That's one big tenet of what we do, but we're all here for business. We want to be successful. We want to get to that point. We're striving for that last element, that serving stage. We will get there when we practice that level of generosity that matters. And that's the mentor moment.
Did you notice he wasn't reading anything? Y'all have heard this before, but facts tell and stories sell, right? Stories. Mentor moments are story time, in my opinion. Okay? Okay, just a couple of quick things, because I know we're going to wrap up here in just a minute here. Use the Spotlight introduction form.
Yes.
We've all been to lots of seminars, lots of keynote speaker opportunities, that kind of thing. Does the keynote speaker come out and introduce themselves? Hi, my name is Simon Sinek, and here's my background, and blah, blah. No. They have someone that introduces them, right? Fill out that Spotlight presentation form, that introduction form, and then ask one of your teammates to use it in your introduction, okay? It's just a professional thing, and it just speaks to professionalism. It's so professional. Have someone read your introduction. Another couple of quick things here. This is important. The category cowboy. There's a couple of them in 212. There's maybe more than a couple. Well, what is the category cowboy? We all know him. That's that person who wants to be all things to all people, right? Oh. We used to have a fellow on my team, good friend of mine, Alan Hunter. He's a printer. I'm a printer. He prints forms and paper products. I can do that too. He prints on T-shirts too. So do I. Alan and I had a long-standing relationship, and we had a meeting. We said, okay, Alan, I'm going to focus in these areas, and don't you talk about these things in the meeting, right? And you focus in these areas, and I won't talk about those things in that area. He is my best. He looks like a competitor of mine, right? He's my best referral source, bar none, and I'm his best referral source, bar none. The category cowboy, you know what they see? That's a threat. Mm-hmm. He does, okay, there's this tiny little bit of overlap, right? We've seen this little bit of overlap. And people get their feathers all in an uproar because, they do reverse mortgages or whatever it is, right? 9 times out of 10, that person that you think is a competitor, you can collaborate with and become a referral source to and from. So please don't limit your thinking. Again, is this coming from a position of strength or a position of weakness, right? 9 times out of 10, if you can work out and play by the rules, stay in the boundaries, stay in your lane, as they say, you've got a powerful referral source. So don't be that category cowboy.
Remember that the category overlap has to be handled by the members, right? As a GC member, I don't understand your business enough to recognize where that overlap might start and stop, right? Can I use you as an example, Caleb? Just last week, Caleb joined my team. He does benefits solutions. We have a gentleman on our team who's our property and casualty insurance guy, who also does life insurance. Caleb also sells life insurance. I couldn't tell you where exactly the conflicts will be between those two guys trying to do the same thing. But as the GC member, what did I do? Hey, Caleb, I need you to call David. I need you to sit down with him, and the two of you got to talk it through, just like Andy and Alan did. Where are the lines, and what will you do together to make it work? Maybe you can, and maybe you can't. But I'm not making the decision. You guys got to talk it through. It's your business, not mine. So just remember the burden on when you have an overlap situation, your GC is going to go back to you and say, hey, I'm not really prepared to make the decision. You two got to work it out like adults and figure out how you can coexist here if it's possible. So be prepared. That's a burden on the members to work out.
Quickly, I'm going to go through like 3 or 4 things. I know we're over time right now, but I'm going to get you out of here real quick. This is important stuff. Your meetings must be fun, right? I talked a little bit about that earlier. The most powerful teams in 212, seriously, the most powerful ones have figured this out. Your meetings have to be fun, right? But not too fun. It can't be too serious because nobody really has any fun with the serious people. You can't be sitting on the end of your bed in the morning going, ugh, do I want to go to this meeting? That should not be the deal. It should be, I can't wait to get to my meeting. Oh my God, I've got 2 or 3 guests coming there. I think I got a GI waiting for me. You know, some of the things that I'll just tell you about. A smile. A smile is huge. You know, when you arrive at your meeting, standing, of course. A smile is good. Humor. Anytime that you hear someone crack a little G-rated joke, it might even be a stupid joke. We call this edification. Edify that person. Give them a little courtesy laugh. You know, we got to help these people out sometimes, right? If something's not really funny, right? But your meetings must be fun, right? So do things that are fun. Sometimes when we start a meeting, we'll say, hey, before we do our 30-second member profiles, we'd like to hear what your favorite destination for vacation is. Or we'd like to hear what your favorite adult beverage is. Something fun. Here's one of my favorites. Before our 30-second member profiles, we'd like to hear what you consider a pet peeve. That sounds like a negative, but it's hilarious to hear all the traffic pet peeves. Anyway, your meetings should be fun. Do what you can do to make your meetings fun. Starts out with fun people, doesn't it? Recruit fun people. Sure. All right, quickly here. Cell phones. It's an issue. Especially during the member spotlight. That member spotlight is wanting everybody to pay attention to the member spotlight. And have you ever seen this before? Oh, I just think that is rude. They weren't raised right. That's just rude. Please, if you see somebody with their cell phone out, just kind of nudge them. Hey, put that away. Don't put that away. That's terrible. Enough said. Okay. Last thing here, don't sweat the small stuff. At the end of the day, by the way, you ever been in an argument with a family member? Does that suck or what? Mm-hmm. Argument with a family member. 212 teams are not too dissimilar from family members. You're gonna, at some point, sometimes, you might just got rubbed the wrong way, right? I'm asking you now, forgive them. Please, just forgive them. At the end of the day, this is a business referral organization. It is not life or death. It's not worth it. So if and when that happens, please let it slide off. Let it roll off of you. It's not a big deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. I'm going to open it up for questions. Does anybody, I know I got to get you out, and I apologize for keeping you a few extra minutes. Questions? Anybody?
I just want to thank you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you for thanking me.
And just to speak to us and giving us little, 4-on-1. I went to some groups with my brother for about a month before I actually joined.
Awesome.
And I find it amazing. It puts you in a mindset. When you go to 212, you got your business head on and you're getting that going. Because if you're a business owner and you're also working the business, then you're one of those people that's like everywhere.
Yes.
So when you have that hour and you're with other structured people and you are doing that thing, you're there.
I call that an intangible, right?
Great.
Everybody's here for referrals, we get it, but there's some other intangibles that are really not so intangible. Don't you plug into that every week and it fuels you, doesn't it?
Church for me. It's not.
I love it too. I know what you're talking about.
Two things I don't miss. I feel like I lose my energy when I don't get those two.
Thank you for making that
things.
point. Thank you for making that point.
Hey, we're on the level of church, man.
Other questions, folks? Anything at all? I'm sorry for brainwashing you.
I would just say this. We started off talking about adding 1 degree, right? And we got to come back and kind of end with that. Stay attentive to the little things that we can do. They seem like little things, right? They seem like little minor things. Standing when you speak, putting down your cell phone, greeting somebody. They add up. The little things just add up. And it makes all the difference on our teams.
Folks, thank you so much for coming out. I look to see you at your teams here real soon. I'm going to be making my rounds again here soon, so I hope to see you again.